Okay. That. Right, where are we? There? No. There. Hello everyone. Oh shit, hang on. Oh, that's just demonetised, I've just sworn. Right, let me get this out of the way. Out there. Hello everyone, thanks for joining. Ivon is just finishing setting up a few bits at the moment. We're going to be doing, like, it was pretty impromptu, we're going to be doing some demos by the sounds of it. But, just to check who's here, obviously Rob is here. Rob, sod off. Hello James, hello Craftsman Studio, hello Mark, hello Tate, it's been a while. Hello other Mark, hello Martins, hello Sally, Vinland Alchemist, Win, Eli. Oh Eli, hey mate, you alright? Mass and Phoenix. Yes, I cannot believe that I've managed to get this set up. I've had some nightmares with audio, but I've managed it somehow. I had to turn the whole system off and on again, which is obviously the way to fix everything, but here we are. Right, so, Ivan, what do you want to do? Do you want to come up and then...
You told me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you mind if I just quickly get myself set up?
Yeah.
I'll be another 3-4 minutes.
Sounds good, sounds good. Alright.
So keep everyone entertained for me.
I'll try that, yeah. So yeah, just to give a bit of context on Ivon, he has set up a work, he basically went through the entirety of Rychertwood with me at the same time, so we started off when we were, what, 16? 16?
Yeah.
16 years old, all the way through to being 21 or 22, I guess?
21 we left uni.
21, yeah. So all the way through...
2017.
In 2017. So yeah, we left uni at the same time, started Rykerwood at the same time, so he's done exactly the same thing and gone and set up a workshop up towards Manchester, and is currently cycling from Manchester down to Cornwall because he's a nut job like that. So he's doing that, and he decided to stop off at the workshop on the way down to say hello. We literally haven't caught up for years. And in that time, since we've sort of been apart, he's actually cycled to the south of France to do a Japanese woodworking course, which sounds insane. So we'll no doubt hear about that, and hopefully we'll see a few demos of some of the bits we picked up. I saw some stuff already, and I have learnt a few things, which is pretty cool. So, staying super quiet on the... Oh, actually, sorry, let me check this. Have I got... Ah, hang on, I've just realised. Because you're on that one. Hang on. Let me pop you on. There we go. That should be slightly better. I've had a bloody nightmare with this audio. Absolute nightmare. So, let's see. What have we got here? Seeing loads of people. I'm also going to set this up on Instagram as well, so if it gets a little bit ropey, then we've got that as a backup. I'm going to also pop Ivon's Instagram thing up on here because I totally forgot to do that. Let me just see this. All right. Oh, sorry, did I? Sorry, Martin. Oops. I just changed audio and blasted someone's ears off.
Oh my god.
What's your Instagram? It's crafty_peddler, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. 1D Elea? Okay, the chisels are set up and ready to finish this turning.
Lovely.
Twice. But I'll come up now and
Cool, yep.
join in.
See you.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, I blew a few people's ears out doing that. Audio change, apparently. Okay, oh, bam. There. And that. There. It's nice to see these live streams are still on brand. An absolute shit show. Okay, cool. Right, we got that. Is Rob's replacement still in the workshop? Yes, Sally is still, she's currently mounted the, I'll show you actually. She's currently mounted the thingy. Oh, that's Ivan's arm. There we go. Here he is. This is Ivan. We're on that one at the moment. So yeah, just to show you, this is where Sally currently is. Let's see if this loads up. There you go, look. She's down there, just hanging out, mounting the miter saw. Alright, let's we'll set up on that table there. I've got a different angle. And then go from there. We might want to get... I need to get Instagram going on my phone. And then if you get this video up on your phone, so we can see the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Hey Chris. Hello Tim. Nice. Right. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, you got the chisel.
Oh, look at that. That looks so good. Nice. Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up just as something. Which one is it? So I want to be on that one. Hello? Hello? Yeah. All right.
I'm just going to check.
Yep. Okay, now I'm going to get this on Instagram. Sorry guys, we were meant to have this all completely set up, but
being impromptuous like this isn't isn't the best for organising things.
But yeah, obviously I've given you a minor introduction. If you'd like to.
Yeah, I mean I can take over from here. So
I guess we'll set up.
I guess not a lot of people know me. My internet presence isn't mega. However, yeah, as Matt said, we studied together for 5 years. We've known each other for 10 now, I think.
Oh yeah, well I guess if you, yeah.
It's been about 5 years since Rycotewood.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was quite a fascinating experience. I think me and Matt probably, I think it's a tough one because we do have some friends that were on the course from day dot as well that are still in the industry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's true. There's only what?
One other?
Yeah, Andy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other people seem to drop off and peel away into different industries.
It's like the course we did, it was 2 years A-level equivalent, technically. I can't remember what that is in the US, but yeah, 2 years A-level, and then after that we did 3 years degree together, which is, yeah, it's sort of quite unusual to do that. It's not unusual, a lot of people do it, but compared with the cohort that start, it's like only a small percentage, isn't it? So.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess we just carried on for the love of it.
Yeah.
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 And we're still here for the love of it too. And since then, obviously, Matt has built up his internet presence and YouTube channel. But I've been setting up a workshop with a friend of ours from university too, in Lancashire, in the north of England. And it's great. I mean, I've got a fully kit out workshop with industrial sized machinery, but due to COVID and everything, things have been not as lucrative as we'd hoped.
No. No.
So right now I sort of randomly decided to take my bike and cycle from Oxford to Cornwall, and on the way visit different furniture makers and manufacturers along the route. So I've got about 12 people to visit, maybe 13. Wood turners, manufacturers, individual crafts people, schools like Rychertwood. I'm going to the craft festival in Devon on the 17th.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool, and this is my first
stop.
First stop.
I mean, we should say that you got a train from Manchester to Oxford first. There we go. Right. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Screen. Yes. Okay. I don't know why that happened. It's just ended up killing it. I'm sorry that it's probably very loud. I'm going to try and reduce this a little bit.
Everyone's saying that it's on brand.
Yeah, oh, this is massively on brand. Yeah, this is massively on brand. Right. Okay, so we're going to have to use this audio for now, and then we'll just go from there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm shit at this. Right. There we go. Okay, cool. Right. Okay.
Right, so
yeah, obviously you set up in Manchester, a workshop, all sorts of stuff to build.
We've got quite an eclectic mix of stuff. I've been doing a lot of kitchens. In 2019, me and Jack, who's my best friend and collaborator, we share the workspace. We actually live together. We've lived together since the first year of university, so this is like 8 years now.
Yeah.
So we get along, you know, which is important if you're sharing a workshop with somebody, I think. And the two of us have very different work practices, but that I think that lends itself to being collaborators, because then we can bounce off of each other quite well. But in 2019 we had an exhibition. It was our debut exhibition in a gallery local to where we are in Lancashire. I made a series of stacking chairs, a wall-mounted cabinet, and a few other bits like desks and stuff. And it went as well as it could have done, I think. But since then we kind of ran out of resources, and freestanding or in-house designed furniture kind of tapered off, and then we ended up doing a lot more fitted stuff, site work. I actually got a job in a kitchen manufacturer's for a short period, which ended badly, I guess. Yeah, I won't talk about it on the internet.
Was it your fault or their fault?
Their fault.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. But I mean, that was a weird experience. I think I left university with the intention of being in this industry as a self-made maker. It's always good to get industry experience, definitely, but having worked in, I know it's kitchen manufacture rather than bespoke or solid wood, you know, furniture making. So it's sort of a different ilk, but it definitely provided insights, but also I saw the difficulties with working under somebody else when compared to being in my own workshop, my own space, somewhere that I appreciated and fostered my own practice.
I think that's one thing that I like as well. It's the industry practices, I guess, where it's like, you know, you work into a time or budget or whatever. Like, it seems like with you, although you've gone about it in different ways, like for me, I've gone very much social media, and you're sort of doing your own, like you still do your own projects and stuff like that, but you're not doing it under anyone, doing it under your own thing. And it seems like you try and like keep a good vibe in the workshop, where it's not like high production, high stakes or anything like that. It's you try and keep it.
Yeah, it's very much that's the intention. I think I really don't want my practice to become tainted with the stresses of labour and needing to make money from it as such. It'd be amazing to be sustaining myself from that, but in the past what I've done is worked in restaurants or other industries, maybe on site, using my skills that are comparable skills, in order to get capital that I can then invest into projects that I want to bring into life. Because otherwise, I think for the most part, if you're doing commission work for people, designing work for folk, you can end up sacrificing your own design principles and your work ethic in order to fulfill somebody else's design dream, which is something that I'm quite uncompromising about.
Yeah.
I want my own design aesthetic, and I want my own. I want to realise my own vision. But that is easier said than done.
So you almost like you don't want it to feel like a job. That's the thing. You want to keep it like.
Yeah.
You obviously making money from it is great.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to make money or doing something you love. But when it gets to that point where it's like too much,
Yeah.
more about the money than the actual thing.
Yeah.
Sort of where you step back a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, for example, this summer when I finished my journey down to Cornwall, the Crafty Peddler, where I'm visiting furniture makers, interviewing them and blogging about it, I'll be working in a restaurant for the rest of summer to earn a bit of scratch, and then hopefully I'll have a bit of capital to return back to my workshop and then make some things that I've got floating around in my head. Yeah. And hopefully, you know, if all goes well and I can actually use capital to leverage projects, then maybe people would buy things.
Yeah. No, I find that interesting though. Like a lot of, I don't know if it's Rychertwood or just like, I say Rychertwood, I mean educational establishments in general. I feel like the intention is to spit you out like industry ready, which is kind of obviously it's like obviously the reason for it, like because you want to get employed at the end. But I think it's some people like you and me went in like not approaching it as a job as such, not wanting to approach it as a job. It's like I just really like doing this thing, and making money from it would be amazing, but I don't, like you say, you're not compromising on it. And I think it's interesting hearing from people like yourself where you're sort of you're not taking it too seriously out the other end.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, like again, it's exactly why I set it up. I wanted to have it as like I wanted to teach effectively, so I could do my own projects and stuff and make money from the teaching, rather than be under someone or making things for someone else. Yeah,
and I think as well when you're making work for other people, when clients come to you, a lot of people like to sort of backlog their commissions so far in advance that they are just exhausted the entire time. They're working on several projects at the same time, juggling so many things, doing 60-hour weeks and stuff, and that's not uncommon in our industry. And honestly, like, I don't really want the stress. But I do also appreciate that we do have to actually reasonably make a living, and so it's trying to find that balance, that middle ground of how can I still practice my passion in woodwork whilst also survive a comfortable life. Yeah.
So most of the people watching this tend to be sort of like, I'd say more hobbyists actually. There might be some semi-professionals, which actually I'll probably class me as. I don't class myself as a professional because I'm not doing maybe I trained to be a professional, but I'm definitely not one.
I class myself as a semi-professional because like the last time I made any furniture from scratch was, bloody hell, it must have been years ago, I think. I don't know, a couple of years or something. But so if professional means making money from it, I've not made money from it in a while. Yeah,
well that's fine though, because you'd say we went through a professional training and we've come out the end and like, actually I don't really want that. Just want to be a semi-professional. And there's some hobbyists, I guess, who want to actually take the jump all the way to being a professional. Like they want to go through all the training and stuff, and like that's also fine. But there is this middle ground where it's like, you can set up as. Are you set up as a sole trader or anything like that? Or you just do it as a.
Not yet.
No. Just sort of doing it. So it is like.
Yeah.
Very informal.
Yeah, very.
That's great. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm taking it very casually in terms of setting up the workshop and setting up the business.
Yeah.
I'm not putting any pressure on myself to get it done anytime soon because there's it involves such a plethora of different things. What does your brand look like? How does your workshop flow? And how many tools do you need? What can you require? And all of those things take time. And without the correct resources there in the first place, you can't really rush into it, I guess.
I think because you need to find your brand. You need to find like what you represent. Interesting. I think you've got like this. I don't know how it would work, but you've almost got like this nomadic woodworker like workshop thing where it's. I don't know how you could be nomadic and have a workshop at the same time. Like, but so you've obviously just come here and you've started using my machines and you've started doing stuff. Like,
which is excellent.
Yeah, and there's like something in that, and I feel like I don't see that. Well, I haven't heard of that. Like people go around and they teach courses and stuff like that. They go, but like I think, because like you said, part of this thing that you're doing where you're going and visiting people, you've realised that people are so welcoming and they love like having
absolutely.
you. Like you're obviously great to have in. It's not like you're a downer or anything like that. You're actually genuinely fun to be around. So like there is something in that. I think with finding your brand, like maybe that's just a travelling thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if when I was using your stuff downstairs just then, it felt a bit intrusive. I know that some people can be quite particular with, say, a chisel, for example. That's like theirs. So that maybe that would be one consideration. But I mean, I'm not sure whether that mentioned. I think you did. But I went last year to, it was during sort of November, September time, to study with Tsukami Kiwa. Who's the Japanese woodwork teacher. He's a seasoned veteran in the Japanese timber framing scene. He's been in the industry for 20 years and he's been teaching for about, I think, 4 years now. So he started the International Craft School in Japan a couple of years before COVID, and then moved to France because of COVID. And then I went to study with him, and I cycled from Oxford to Paris during that time, and studied with him in Marseille. And that like you say, is nomadic, and the amount that gave me, because as well on the way back I visited a few people. So Ash and Plum, who are wood turners, they do very decorative and beautifully finished large vessels, and then H.T. Morris, who's Harry over in Bristol. And I actually learned so much from being around them, being in their workspaces, seeing how other people set up their practices and their workspaces is incredibly inspiring. And also, you don't get access to that ever really. Like how other people set up their space. I think woodworkers are in danger of thinking that's boring. Maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure but.
What do you mean boring for, like, if you're the host, like, if it's your workshop, you think it's boring if people come in, like, what have I got to show kind of thing? Or...
Maybe. Or, like it's definitely true that nobody shares their workspaces. You get plenty of workshop tours online, but the intimacy of it, I don't know, and I think it's really fascinating. That's one thing that we kind of don't talk about when teaching woodwork or when sharing about the woodwork practice, is how we set up our space.
Yeah.
I think you've done it quite a lot, talked about the room quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't necessarily talked about it. Well, I guess to some extent I have, but we were saying this the other day, or maybe today, it's about the vibe of the workplace. Or the vibe of the workshop, we would say. Like, it's very easy to make it very clinical and like,
And just pragmatic.
Yeah, it's fully functional. There's no sort of characters or anything. Like I'm looking at a new workshop at the moment, and it's all like it's just a unit. It's all metal. Not a lot of characters to it whatsoever. I need more space, and I want more space, but you lose. There's so much character in this place with its like asbestos roof and like cobwebs all around the sides and smashed windows and like it's part of the vibe for me. When I come in here, it's like I feel like it is very representative of me. It's almost like, although I need more space, but going there, I'm going to be so like, what? Like, this isn't me. I'm going to have to work very hard to change it into something that does suit me.
I mean, you're already going to have to work hard as it is, but then getting it to your personal
Yeah, it's getting to, because it's taken years to get to this point, and it's still an ongoing process. And your workshop's very much the same. Like,
yeah. My workshop's fascinating because
I really want to see it.
It's brilliant. It's got so we're situated in the basement of a Victorian era cotton mill. So it's a big millstone building, damp, but that age, that character, like you were saying, comes through, and people feed off that whenever we get visitors and stuff. There's a genuine sense of awe, especially with the fact that we've got ridiculously old and crazy machinery.
Oh yeah.
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 But
Ivan's machines are like what, World War One machines or something like that?
I've got a bandsaw that was made in 1891 by the Britannia Company.
It is nuts.
It would have been driven by either water or steam, and someone's just slapped a motor on the back. It was great, and we love it. I don't think we'd ever get rid of it and replace it.
No, absolutely not. No, keep that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so much character in that place.
Absolutely,
So you say when you're visiting other people, people you have visited, you see that as well. That's not a unique thing.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's workshop was, like, he had a lot of pride. So things that he'd made, things that he was interested in. He had his conifer collection on a shelf, and his bodyboard that he'd made with a butterfly dovetail in it and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So he'd really put a lot of emphasis on pride within his practice, and it was nice. And then Ash and Plum, their workshop was in a greenhouse. Right. So, and they've just moved because they were scared that during summer it would be insanely hot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was great. It was an old orchid greenhouse in Brighton, and you walked in and they constructed a shed where he was turning inside the greenhouse.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest and most wonderful thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
And then to Cami's workshop, he was essentially renting a workspace from a set designer in Marseille. So I guess it was a bit of a mixed bag. Like, it was to Cami's equipment, and he'd made his trestle tables, and it had his energy, but then also the space was somebody else's, so it's kind of hard to distinguish whose it was.
Right.
But yeah, that definitely interests me, the workspace, the environment. Yeah, because when you're at uni, you sort of just see a facilitation of student space, you know? Yeah. And
everyone's got their own bench that's sort of got some bits to it. Like, you always be able to pick out the super organised ones.
Yeah.
And people like, I can't remember what you were like. I know I was absolutely
mine was pretty messy.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and they would always say, you know, you're going to get people from industry looking around and like they're going to judge you on your bench. I'm like, I don't want to be employed. I don't care.
Yep.
I was the same. I remember actively running away from someone in industry before because they saw one of my pieces in the hallway, and I think Andy came up to me and he tipped me off that someone wants to find you and talk about your piece. So I was like, I'm going to lunch. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be sweet talked into working in industry.
Yeah. In a way, though, I kind of do wonder what that experience would have been like. I mean, I'm sure maybe one day I'll be in the industry, but
yeah, I've thought about doing like a internship or an apprenticeship for someone before, because I don't think I'm interested about. I wouldn't want to put pressure on someone to get paid there, because I'm going there to learn. Because it's like,
yes,
I think that's one thing was interesting about Rycotewood as well, is that the things we learned there, although there's a lot of machine training and hand tool training and stuff, it's not a lot of fitted furniture taught in that course.
Yeah.
And actually that's what the majority of the industry is.
Absolutely.
And that's not to say that Rycotewood's not useful in that, because it teaches you the principles and everything, and then you carry them across, and it's just like learning a few tips and tricks and all that.
Yeah. Actually, I think what you learn within a woodwork environment like Rycotewood is so translatable, and not only to fitted furniture, but multidisciplinary. Me and Jack, when we moved into our workshop, we had to tank the room. So we built a wall, there was no windows, we knocked the bricks out and installed windows, built an office and like a kitchenette area and all sorts, and all of that has just come from our pragmatic knowledge that was gifted to us at Rychertwood.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. Practical skills do just lend themselves to each other.
I do remember them saying, one of the tutors, it might have been Drew or something, he said that it's more of a problem-solving degree than it is a furniture-making one.
That's cool.
And it's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true. I think it's like, things will go wrong, and you've just got to keep continuing with it.
Yeah.
I remember certain students, like Alice or something like that, she was gluing up a table and it like, just snapped clean enough and she just broke down in tears. But it's like, cool, that glue's still wet though.
Yeah.
You still got
You got to persist. You can cry when it's finished.
But I remember having moments like that where things would just break apart, they wouldn't go to plan. You get like this welling up in you, just this panic. Like, I got to tame this. I got to tame this because
when I was studying with Takami, I was doing something. Maybe I can't remember what it was. I think I had a chisel and I fucked something up.
It's fine.
And I swore like quite audibly, and he looked at me from across the room and just said, "Do not express mistakes. Do not express your frustrations." And I was like, "Whoa!" And bear in mind, he's Japanese, so there's like a Buddhist element to his persona. But it was quite interesting. His reasoning is that when they're on site doing work for a client, if anyone does a mistake, you don't express your mistakes because they might hear.
Right.
So you just have to internalize it, move past it, and then fix it and carry on.
Interesting.
And so that's another reason, it's very interesting. Ever since then, I've tried to kind of exercise that kind of mindful practice of, okay, that was a mistake. Don't lose my head.
Yeah.
Just move past it calmly, and it works.
Yeah.
Just takes a lot.
But also, if you're in one of those Japanese workshops and you audibly let out that you fucked something up, judging by what you told me about when he screwed up his marking out, you say that. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So, what is the expression for
I can't remember.
self-sacrifice in Japan? It was like in the Edo period. Allegedly, the Japanese master carpenter who had served for decades gets to the point where they're only doing the marking out of the structure, and the apprentices chisel and saw all of the joinery. If that master craftsman doing the marking out has messed up any of the lines or calculations, that would then just naturally get cut out by the apprentices and it would be wrong. If it's wrong, it's down to the master craftsman, who then in turn would sacrifice themselves.
This is allegedly.
But during my course with him, he did a mistake with the measuring and marking out. And then noticed, and he was so apologetic. He ran around. I'm so sorry. And then went, I'm gonna have to kill myself now. I'm like, no, Takami, please don't.
He said he kept alluding to it. You don't know if he's like being truthful or not. People said it here. Hikari?
Hirikiri.
Hirikiri,
Yeah,
right.
That's the one. Nice. Yeah. Hirikiri. Ridiculous. I wanted to chat to you. It's probably quite a deep and in-depth thing, but have you ever, in terms of joining in the industry, working for somebody else, have you ever had feelings of not wanting to do that out of fear of failure or being exposed, right?
Massively. Massively, yeah. That's. Do you know what? Actually, I think that's what fuels the wanting to do it for free or as an intern. So it's like, I'd obviously tell them. Yeah, I'd tell them that I've done the training and stuff, and I should be all right. But for me, if I feel like I'm let off the hook with it a bit, it's like I'm still learning. I don't know this stuff. I might cut something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's a massive fear of mine.
Yeah. It's the same as me, I think, and I think it was always that fear from when we left university and we had industry days and stuff. I think what I've noticed now, having worked in the kitchen manufacturing company as well, like one thing that probably we don't necessarily, or we might not have practiced, is speed and efficiency of work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I was working in that factory, you know, we had to hit quarterly targets. Every 15 minutes we were taking log of what we were doing, and it was insane how fast you had to work, and almost like to the point where you're sacrificing, you know, your own health. yeah, like just wearing yourself out every week. It was pretty intense, but I think that's something that I am interested in fostering a better practice around, just how quick and efficient I am in my practice.
Yeah.
Because I've got no doubt that me and you can do the joinery and the things and the woodwork, but
that's the thing. Everyone I've spoken to who was in Rychertwood with us, who's gone into industry, I would say to them, what you're doing is insane. I have got no idea how to build a wardrobe like they've done or whatever and fit it into an alcove. Like I feel confident that I could figure it out.
Yeah.
But like in terms of doing it efficiently, or like to like good practice.
Yeah.
Making sure it's level and stuff like that, scribing it in, like.
And what's the correct logic in how its construction is formed?
Yeah, exactly. Things, you know, I follow a cabinet maker on Instagram called Molyneux Carpentry, I think. Certainly, the stuff he does is absolutely insane. Like when you see the finished products he's done, his kitchen's beautifully sprayed. He's got dressers, wardrobes, walk-in wardrobes, the lot. He's done the entire things. So he shows like these finished products and things, but then equally he'll show like him making them, and all it is him just pushing MDF and plywood through a panel saw, lipping it, spraying it, and then it goes together. And I'm like, it's like, how is something that simple becoming that? Where it's like his work is just so inspiring to me because it's fitted furniture but done right.
Yeah.
Really nice stuff. And he puts like lighting and stuff in it as well, so it's beautifully lit. Yeah. It's insane, and I can't get my head around that something like that is actually so simple. But that's why I'm so scared of doing it and like outing myself, kind of thing.
We were chatting about something similar yesterday. Is that within engineering? So we were talking about my machinery in the workshop, which is a lot of it's quite old. I think the youngest machine that we've got, large machine, is an 80s model. So it's about 50 years old. Could be younger. I'm not sure. But inside these machines, they're beautifully simple, and you sort of want it to be more complicated, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
Because then it's almost like it's cheating.
Yeah.
So when you see a fitted piece of furniture that goes together really simply, you kind of like, but hold on, it should be complicated. Why is it so simple?
Yeah.
We
said about it with machines in particular, when you open them up and you see it's just a simple mechanism, that I feel like, I think you agree with it, where it's like, you look at it, it's like, that almost seems unsafe that it's so simple because like I could think that up.
Yeah.
Like, and how is something I think up in this machine that I'm using? Like, I've basically designed this machine I'm using, and that's terrifying. Like, I think that's what it is with like these big pieces of furniture and like the things they do in industry as well. It's like I could get it done, and it look nice and stuff, but I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it at all because it's like, no, I made that, and I'm not a professional at this.
There's always that fear. I finished a kitchen not long ago, and when you walk away from that project, there's a
Here's a fiver. Now off you go.
What an interesting talk, gents.
I forgot that was going. There's someone at the door.
It terrified me.
Oh my god. Thanks, Satiris.
Thank you very much.
Oh man. Oh, that's going to start them all off now. Right. Okay, I can mute it if it is off-putting, but that is brilliant. Okay.
Where were we?
I can't remember. I think I was just midway through having a heart attack.
I think I was talking about stepping away from a project, knowing that you've probably ticked all the boxes, but still having that gut-wrenching feeling that it's going to fall to pieces, or it's going to get water damage from the sink or something. And yeah, it is terrifying. But I don't know. Someone once said to me recently that a kitchen is just a few boxes within a box. So the kitchen is the box, and then you just put loads of boxes in it.
Yeah.
And it sort of is.
Yeah.
And even if the fabric of the house is wonky and disfigured, it doesn't really matter because the units that make up the kitchen are kind of floating in midair, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
They're fixed to the walls and they're on the floor, but the adjustment on the feet and how you scribe in everything means that they're separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily matter how wonky the building is.
Yeah.
It's still just a box in a box.
I think conceptually like that, I can get on board with it. I think it's the process of like what order of operations does all that stuff happen in. Like,
Right.
I don't know, like
Yeah, go on.
joining things, cutting things out, like assembling it, scribing it in. Like, for me, it just seems weird that you would make something in a workshop, like maybe assembled, like do you assemble it on site or whatnot? Firstly, you've got to plan that. Can I actually fit it through the door?
Yeah.
I think you've got to do this. I don't know. I've said this because I'm guessing. But you assemble it or whatever on site, and you bring it in, you scribe it, and then it goes into the wall somehow. Like, I don't understand the process.
Yeah.
Like what order it happens in, and that's I've got that van parked outside there to do a van conversion.
That would be great practice for that.
But that's the most terrifying thing. I don't doubt that I won't be able to work out the electrics. I mean, I have lots of doubts, but I'm talking myself out of them. The electrics, the plumbing, gas, like everything. I have so many doubts about it. I don't have doubts, but I feel like I can work each one individually out. But it's what order they happen in.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it just seems weird that you've got to do the electrics first. Right, because it's like
they're
the
sort of
finishing touches.
right.
But they're obviously all behind the walls and stuff like that.
And then you just leave the kettle cables dangling
down, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and it's the order of process like that I feel the most unconfident about, I think, going into industry. Because the rest of it's stuff that we were taught, but then it's applying that to a process.
Yeah.
Like what happens.
It's interesting here you say that because I remember distinctly in, I think it was second year of college, we got given a project. I think it was designed by somebody. I think it was a set house design that we had to make. And it was our job during that module to figure out the production plan, draw it out from the instructions, and then...
Which one was that? Was that a little cube thing that I put the bottle caps on?
Yeah, no. This was before university, so this was perhaps the bow-fronted table.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And I remember sitting there completely bewildered and confused as to like what even is a production plan. It was the first time I'd ever seen one, and I think you were the first person in the class to finish the old production plan.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And I remember just watching you hand it in, just being like, how the fuck?
Such a nerd.
Because it just didn't. I didn't know whether do you make the legs first? Do you work from the bottom up or top down? Does everything start from the drawers outward, or like what happens?
Shows how much I used it if I can't even remember doing it.
But yeah, I remember just like wondering how do you even practice that skill of prioritizing what it is that you make it, the order of which something is made. It's a weird conceptual thing to get your head around, isn't it?
That's true, because it's not. It's transferable in some senses, like with cabinets. I think. I'm trying to think of. Obviously, we did that one in level 2, which was the one I taught in the free online woodworking school. For people wondering, it's that one with the door and the drawer and stuff. We did that, and then I made a cabinet in the 4th year of Rychertwood, I think. And I think there is transferable stuff with just boxes like that.
Mm.
In some ways. For me, it's like, I'll tell you what, one thing I feel really unconfident in, chairs. You've done a lot of chairs.
I've done chairs.
I
Purely because they are impossible.
I have not. I made one in the 2nd year of the degree, I think. It was that hand carved one. It is not structurally sound whatsoever. It looks pretty.
It's got one joint at the back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's epoxy. Yeah, it's threaded rod used as a dowel with epoxy around it.
Right.
And so it's like you won't be able to pull it out, but there is like a lot of racking on it.
So I did. I got really into chairs. I made a set of 2 stacking chairs back in for our degree. And have we got a question?
I studied with you guys. Alex.
Fucking hell, Alex.
Alex.
Oh my
what? Yeah, I remember you, Alex Witcher.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, what? That's insane. Wow.
I remember bumping into Alex in Reading train station or something on the escalators.
What? That's insane.
Mad.
Hey, Alex.
Hello.
What the hell?
Yeah, cool. I was just talking about these chairs.
Yes.
Do you remember the stacking chairs?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They were made of sycamore and they had dowel legs. And then when I got to my workshop and set everything up, the first thing I tried to do was redesign these chairs. I made 8 prototypes, which was 12 chairs in total, because the last prototype that was successful, I made 5 of. I tried to make 6, but the 6th one just didn't go together. It was inaccurate. And I exhibited these chairs in an exhibition and hoped to sell them and maybe get enough of a ball rolling to make more, because the whole intention was to make the chairs so efficiently manufacturable that I could do them in-house. And they were stacking chairs as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'd love to return to the idea, but it was so difficult. Just the human body is an awkward shape to wrap around something round.
Yeah.
And then you've got to consider that people kind of abuse chairs.
I'm sorry, at the moment. Yeah.
So it's just, the chairs are nuts.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I've got one of those Herman Miller air-on chairs at home. It's supposed to be the most ergonomic chair in the world.
Oh, cool.
And I got it thinking I wouldn't sit in this like an idiot. And I sit in it like an idiot all the time. And I genuinely thought about that, where I sit in it. Like, if this guy who charges this thousands of pounds or so for this chair now, if he's done that and it's the world's best chair, and I'm still sitting in it like an idiot and I still feel uncomfortable and stuff, what chance have I got to get this
Exactly.
right? Like, it's, yeah.
There's a Japanese guy called Tate. That's sort of like a shortening of his first name. And if anyone out there knows Tate, please remind me. But he studied human ergonomics because his wife was suffering from back problems. And he's an incredibly experienced woodworker, Japanese, and he makes furniture. So when his wife was getting problems with the back, he studied ergonomics, and then he now makes these chairs that he's designed in a way so that he can slightly manipulate each chair bespoke to the individual who's going to buy it.
That's cool.
And apparently, like, it fixed his wife's back problems and stuff. This is crazy, and they are stunning.
Yeah.
He plane finishes everything, and he does this whole play with light and how the shadows roll over it. And so it's like, credit to that guy for getting
What's
it
that?
right.
Tack.
Tack. I'll have to dig out his
cool.
Instagram handle. We're using the phone in a minute, so I can't do it now.
Yeah. One thing I heard about chairs, and again, this is me speculating through what I'd heard, but because they take so much time and effort to make, obviously you make like 7. You don't just make one chair, you make 6 or 8 or something like that, maybe 4 if you're lucky. And there's so much production goes into that often people in industry, what they would do is they would sell a dining set instead. So
the table would supplement the...
Yeah, the table is where you just glue a load of stuff, put some legs on it, and you charge more for the table because it's bigger. When actually you've taken like 10 times less time to make it than the chairs. Like,
it's crazy what is the perceived value of something.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with chairs as well for me. Not only am I scared of them, but it's like, this is probably going to be one of the hardest things I undertake.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to do this properly and do loads of prototypes and testing and stuff.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of the hardest things. And at the end of it, I've got a chair.
Yeah.
Great.
That's it. I mean, the 5 chairs that were successful that I made, they're just in my attic. Great. Yeah, I spent 2 years developing them on and off, and so many prototypes, and they're all just stored somewhere.
Just a chair.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating that, because I feel like I need an incentive to make one. Like, I want to be able to make like an amazing chair, whatever that means, like Ergonomic wise or visually or something like that. I want to be able to have I want an incentive to make a chair, but there just isn't one. It's just difficulty, and maybe that is.
It's just the only incentive is challenge.
It's challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there is something in that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I had grand designs to actually make chairs up here for this area to sort of match it all and everything. But then I found these like 30 quid ones on Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the other problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can buy a chair for.
Yeah. These are alright.
Yeah.
Their feet adjustable height. You don't get that in wood. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're really clever. Adjustable height wooden chair. There you go. I'll do that. Like pegs or something on the floor.
Like a piano stool.
Oh, yeah. It exists already, doesn't it?
Yeah. The Thonne number 14, that's the cafe chair.
Oh, you put that on Instagram the other day.
Yeah, that's the most timeless, perfect chair ever made, in my opinion.
So you saw that in Iceland or something?
You'll see it in every cafe in the world. They're just so popular, and it's all steam vent beach.
Moist.
Yes.
Get off my seat, Ivon.
Get out of my seat, Ivon. That was wrong.
That's funny.
I did wonder if people would turn up and say, Rob looks different. Brilliant.
What's the chair guy's name handle?
Tak Yoshino?
Tak Yoshino. Nice one. Yeah.
Look at that.
Check him out. So, my name's Ivon Haywood. My handle is Crafty Peddler. Crafty_Peddler.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, cheers for the reason people have much pain in life. Tate is doing a woodworking course up in Scotland, I think, at the moment. So obviously he's doing production plans and stuff like that. Yeah. It's funny, I don't remember. Oh, hello. I hope I didn't just block someone. Yeah, production plans though, they are.
Yeah.
Get back to that, like that is. I want to do it for this van. Like I'm planning on taking like 2 or 3 weeks out of the workshop and just be like, I'm going to do this down to the finest detail and like.
You're going to do it in 3 weeks? Oh,
Is
planning in 3 weeks?
Yeah, not the conversion. Yeah.
I was going to say.
I thought you were questioning if 3 weeks was long enough to do the planning then. It's like, is it not?
I don't know. I mean, James Wimby recently converted a van with a colleague or friend of his, and he's a really experienced cabinet maker in Wiltshire, I think. And it looks phenomenal, but both of them have got years and years behind them. Mm-hmm. And I think it took them a while to do this van. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the other thing as well, is that I've seen cabinet makers do van conversions, and they're really nice.
Yeah.
But the missing detail is these cabinet makers have been fitting cabinets on site. Like they've seen building sites in various states of construction. They know what part their cabinet making specialism, like where that comes in the process.
Mm.
For me, it's like I know how to do the cabinet making, but I don't know where that slots in this whole thing.
Mm.
They know that, and so with the electrics and things like that, they've probably picked up that from site or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they just have it as general knowledge, because I certainly don't. But I think that's the other thing that I feel like I've really missed out with industry experience. It's not just how to make boxes and cabinets and fit and stuff like that, but it is the process of it as well, where you fit into the fitting out of the space. Because some of it is fine fitting, but I'm sure other parts of it aren't. Like if you needed to, I don't know, anchor stuff into the walls or something like that, or I don't know, silicon round something. Is that you who does that? But Tyler, I don't know. I'm just coming up with, I don't know where it, like how it works, and I'm sure it's individual for each.
You're going to learn a lot in this project.
It's going to be a trial by fire. This
it is.
Nice. Better got those bathrooms. Spans on. But yeah. Did you want to show some bits downstairs?
Yeah, we could do. I mean, so we've got a bit of a mortise and tenon situation going on downstairs. It's not finished and ready to go together yet, but it's almost there.
Right.
And I was going to show Matt a method called Kirigashi, which is where you compress the wood fibres of a joint before slotting them together. And then by spraying water or leaving it enough time for the wood to expand back into its original form, it will then hold the joint tight. So yeah, I was going to show you that, wasn't I? But
I'd love to.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So guys, I'm going to try and get the stream on my phone.
Shall I run downstairs and get started?
Yeah, you do that. I'm going to mess around with it. So if you're on Instagram, there's 15 of you. Switch across to Matt Estlea 2 on YouTube. Because what I'm going to do, I think is that your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Switch across to Matt Estlea 2 because what I'm going to do is try and use this phone as a camera and change the audio to the phone as well, so I can just sort of run and gun it down there. Ivan, you might need to keep the YouTube stream up on that, just so I can check for audio problems. And we'll see if it works. All right. Okay. Give me a moment. All right. So, Instagram, you're ending. Okay. Let's get you on here so you can see me. Right. Uno memento. Discard. Right, what am I doing again? Let's see. I think I tested this before. Rob, I know you're watching me. Let's see what happens. So, NDI cam. And then, with any... Oh, look, wait. Look at this. Look at that. Sophie, maybe this. Make it Soph on Instagram. It's awesome. Anyway, right. So, I'm hoping this... Is that picking up nicely? Hello? Okay. Right. So, hopefully if I just flip that around. Okay. Selfie mode. Okay. So it looks like there's audio levels coming through on here. We'll just see what happens. Guys, if you could let me know if this is okay, that would be grand. Pressure. Okay. You said well done. Okay, we've done it. We've done it. Right. All right, hang on. Okay. Have you still got the stream up down there?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm interested in seeing the delay actually. Here. Here. All right. Where's your phone?
It is just there.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, wow, there is a big delay on it. All right. So, actually, one thing I didn't show is the chisel upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, have a quick go at that.
I'll do. I'm just going to pop this. Sorry, guys. I'll pop this here for now. Give me a moment. So, yeah.
So one thing Ivan did just show me is, this is a chisel, but what he's done is he's ground, what is it, 85 degrees or something?
Yeah.
On the end of it, there's a primary, there's a secondary, and then on the very tip, that is 85 degrees. This is just one of my sort of throwaway chisels. And what it allows you to do is if you've got like just stuff, what about this?
Yeah.
On your workbench, you can sort of use the chisel as like a scraper. It's a bit blunt, but it stops it from digging into the workbench. So it's like slightly elevated at the moment. And you can like just scrape away things. Works really well on end grade. It's pretty awesome. Like, this is epoxy at the moment, so it's not like the easiest stuff to chip away. But it just allows you to chip things away without the chisel digging into the workbench. So it does sort of allow you to, well, you've got to write off a chisel to do it, but...
Well, if it's still usable for that purpose, is it written off?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it. So yeah, this is obviously what he's working on at the moment. So what's going on here?
So this is the mortise side of a mortise and tenon that I'm just going to demonstrate the Kirigashi with. I accidentally drilled the holes a slight bit too large. Oh. But that's okay. When we decided to do this go live today, it was a bit of an impromptu decision. So
yeah.
Dashing around the workshop to make a demonstration mortise and tenon.
There's the plans and all that.
So
yeah, just to explain the concept here. So what he's going to do is he's purposely cutting the mortise too tight. No, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
too tight. And then effectively hammer this. Hammer?
Yep.
Yeah. Hammer it to sort of squish the fibres. And then what happens is when this is assembled and you put water in it, or just moisture in general, the fibres swell up and locks it in the mortise with extreme tightness.
Yeah, I guess it's more than friction. It's
Yeah.
sort of mechanical.
Yeah.
And it's especially good when you're doing drawbar mortise and tenon, because it will be a tight assembly. That drawbar peg will pull it together and then it will swell.
Yeah.
It's just not going anywhere.
That's decent.
Hi, Ivon. Nice to see you in the workshop. Keep Matt on his toes.
Thank you, whoever that was. This is cool. Like, obviously, that's all just hand cut. Like, super accurate.
Nice. That saw is pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a new Ryoba. Like, look at that. This guy's good.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Lots.
I'd need editing to fix that. Nice. Did you have a go with this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? So
Actually holding it is sort of tiring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I won't be too long on this.
That's right. So, yeah, we're working with Beach here. What did he tend to work with when you did the course?
When I did the course in France, studying with Takami, pine.
Oh, pine.
Some variation on pine. I think he could only really get his hands on a sort of local pine, local to France or something. But I think usually he would be more selective when he's in Japan.
Right. Like cedars and stuff like that, or?
Perhaps, yeah. It would always be local types of pine to wherever actually they're making the house.
Right.
I think Feng Shui dictates that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be, but there was talk about them selecting pine trees. So if the house is situated with the north side, the south side, east and west, they would get a tree from each corresponding side of the house. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But
oh, damn, sorry. We're upside down. I know. There we go. Hopefully that's fixed these. We'll see. Oh goodness! There's a bit of a delay on this, guys, so I don't know if
It
that's
was
fixed.
Sarah saying hi. Also, your video is now upside down.
I know. Alright, let's see what happens.
So it's quite interesting in Japan because they've got a limited supply of timbers and species, and I think usually the timbers, the hardwoods are reserved for furniture making, and then the softer woods will be used for constructing houses, and they're actually quite beneficial for that in a place that has so much seismic activity. So
so I was just checking it was the right way up. It is now.
is that a lag?
Yeah.
Yeah, the seismic activity, so they get so many earthquakes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's like more flexibility in it. More
Yeah.
give. Right.
Yeah. But that also means that termites and insect attack is hugely problematic.
Right.
So houses over there need to be, I think they're raised off the floor a foot.
Right.
On rocks, and then just constantly cleaned and swept underneath and all sorts.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because that would be a reason for using cedar, isn't it? Because it's insect repellent. I
right.
think that's where I've heard of that being used before. For like, like architecture kind of thing. They're using softwoods. I didn't know it's for seismic activity.
Yeah, well, a lot of the joinery is designed in a way that it has flex. So buildings will just wobble instead of just crumble. This is nuts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Said, oh, what a feeling when we're woodworking on the ceiling. Nice.
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm just cutting the corners, and then
right.
once I've done that, I can
There's no rush.
chomp out the middle.
No rush. I'll do a quick walk around of what I'm doing. Just to show you guys what I've been up to. So, obviously, I put on Instagram that I've been working on knives quite a lot recently. So this is sort of currently where I'm at. I got a few stainless, quite a few brass ones, more stainless, more brass. And then I actually treated myself to some lunch boxes the other week. So all of my components.
Now off you go.
Thank you.
It has been a while since I reminded you of this. Instill the chat moist.
I'll explain that. So yeah, I've got all these bits in here, all in there. These are all my screw ups, so they're all being separated. But yeah, so I'm working through them slowly. I've got some that are being assembled here. Then when they're assembled, they're going in the clamps over there. Obviously turning them, well, you know, I guess they're coming out like this. I've started adding way more massa birch to this year's lineup. So there's tons of them here. So they all get turned, rough turned, and then they end up in this pile here. Have a look at some of these. Have a look. Mental stuff. And I've given away a future project there. Oops. Anyway, so that's all of them. These ones are all bronze, actually. All bronze ferrules on here. So yeah, brass, stainless, bronze. And most of the way through turning these, I've just got these remaining Cocobolo ones to do. And then all the bronze ones done. And you know, I say they're done. I've still got to sand them, do like the thumb holes and all that and everything. So there's still a fair bit of progress to be done. But yeah, that's sort of what I've been working on for a while. I don't know if we're upside down or not. Lovely. What's the reason for cutting this component short like that? Is it just...
I actually don't really have one.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't want to use too much material. We only had like that much. So wait. Yeah, it's just a demo.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's. I don't know why I picked beech. It's one of the harder things.
I was going to say, it'll compress well though.
Yeah.
So it'll compress well. I did have some nice CLS over there that you could have compressed. I'd have really done the job. You could have probably cut that 2mm too tight and still be able to mash it down. Stick it in the arbor press over there.
Yeah.
Just Actually, that's a point. And that would work quite well.
Probably.
Pretty would, wouldn't it? But I'm glad that one wasn't upside down.
Right.
Oh, is that the right way up again? I don't know. No, I don't. I think it's that way. That's the right way. We'll see.
So, Matt, do you think you'd ever do any study in Japanese woodwork?
Do you know what? When I saw the course you did and the things you were sharing about it,
Yeah.
I genuinely thought about it. I'm not sure I'd cycle there. But yeah, it's been a while since I've done a woodworking course.
Yeah.
I did the anarchist tool chest course with Chris Schwarz.
The anarchist tool chest.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I did that one. He taught it up in Leamington Spa.
Cool.
I think I did that between level 1.
Oh yeah. I
Sorry, in
remember.
the summer between level 2 and 3.
That was the full dovetails. I remember you learned loads on that.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, you
It's
came
like-
back just like in blitz.
I
the
don't
second
know
year.
how, like, I don't know what it was specifically. I think it was just a few. Oh, look at a little bird there.
Oh, nice.
It's like humping the air. Yeah, he just taught like a few basic principles of some things, and they've just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I think it was Chris's ability to simplify things
Yeah.
and just give yourself like a few like mantras to kind of think about as you were doing it. Just made it very easy to kind of recall and
Yeah.
sort of come back to. So yeah, that helped me out massively. But I did that, and then I did Rychertwood,
Yeah.
and I don't think I've learned. It's not that I haven't learned anything. I haven't done any formal courses since.
Yeah.
I can
No,
think
like
of.
guided tuition or anything.
No, I'm sure there's something really obvious that I'm missing.
I mean, I think I remember you when you went to America the first time, or Canada maybe. You had a go with some Japanese tools over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. When I went to see Veritas out there. I
Yeah.
went to Vic Teslin's workshop.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because he's a massive fanatic about like Japanese tools and things, and he
Yeah.
had a few. I think he made it himself.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that was the first time I tried Japanese pool playing, and it was that.
How was that?
That was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It's so good, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Just, I think adjusting something with a hammer is just.
It's not.
There's something cool about
Yeah.
that. And I didn't do it particularly well, I
Uh-huh.
don't think, but it was still like extremely satisfying.
When you get it, God, it's
Yeah.
so satisfying.
But that wasn't. It was kind of a course on that, but it was very like it was more about learning about the tools themselves rather than the project.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I did an engineering course on the milling machine,
Oh, cool.
but that was only 2 days, and that's it really. I don't think I've done any other. So yeah, when you shared about doing the Japanese woodworking course,
Yeah.
and also the fact that it was in the south of France with a master woodworker.
Yeah.
Like there's something really cool about that.
Being around him and the way that he conducts himself, the way he moved around the workshop and everything just was fascinating, because I don't think I've ever been around anyone who's so well esteemed in their country. I guess our tutors who we studied with are very good.
Yeah.
And you can praise them, but Takami was one of 64 woodworkers in his generation who was selected to renovate all of Japan's temples.
Oh wow. Damn.
So it was like, oh right, you're renovating God's house.
Yeah.
You've got to be good.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of how I felt studying with Chris Schwarz, I think.
Right.
He's like so well esteemed in his industry. I was like,
Yeah.
it was just weird. It was weird. And I think, yeah, Rychertwood, I think, was more about the collaborative aspect of it, I think.
Yeah.
With other students and everyone being in the same boat as you. But with those short courses, like the one I went on with Chris and obviously your one, like working with someone like that.
Well, I think it's because you invest in it and only it, and then that sort of gives it more.
You've got more weight behind it.
Yeah. So you sort of get more from it, I think.
Yeah.
In a way.
But no, I've thought about it. I've been thinking about doing another woodworking course for a long time, and then I saw that one, and I think what was cool about it is that you seem to learn a lot about the, I'll use the word culture, I don't think it's the right one, but it wasn't just a case of like, this is how you cut this Japanese joint, and that's it. Like, you learn like the practices and stuff around it, and the way to approach the work.
Yeah,
like
I'd say there was a lot of that, and understanding the mindset surrounding that as well.
Mindset,
yeah.
That's what I think would be, it almost seemed like a kind of a course in philosophy as much as it was woodworking.
Yeah, I mean,
like that's
one thing that Takami said was that he wasn't just there to teach woodwork, he was there to teach life lessons as well.
Right, exactly.
And it was fascinating having lunch with him every day. He'd always come out with something to go home thinking about.
Yeah, I think that having like a woodworking meets philosophy.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
there's something about that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really stuck out to me.
Yeah, and it's worth doing. I get the impression he's going to Japan soon, though.
Right.
But
you just have to go to Japan to do it then.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. What was it? 3 weeks.
It was 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
I think it was 29 days.
Right.
I was in the workshop for 27 of the days.
Nice.
And the only reason I wasn't in for the other 2 is because I went home after one particularly stressful but fulfilling day, and started cooking, preparing food, had a glass of wine, and sliced my knuckle off with a kitchen knife. So I spent the whole time using tools that were supremely sharp, and then went home and wounded myself on a kitchen knife.
Was it blunt or sharp?
Probably quite blunt compared to the chisels we were using.
Yes. Sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blunt knife is more dangerous than the sharp one.
Oh yeah.
You were just so deep in using sharp tools.
Yeah.
Literally anything blunt you were bound to cut.
I was using it like a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you said you spent 4 days sharpening or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. The first 4 days we just spent sharpening.
Just sharpening.
Sharpening tools.
God. I don't mind sharpening, but 4 days, damn, that's going to be
doing it 8 hours a day for 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. What have we got? Okay.
So have we got any questions coming up on there?
There's a few people just noticing stuff about my workshop. Bosch, the extractor. No, I guess I can talk about that. You got a while on that still?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, obviously someone noticed the Festool extractor here. So basically, the reason I've got that, it's like a sort of knock-on effect of lots of different things. So this extractor, this pneumatic one, is crap. I mean, it's good at suction, but if you run it for more than 10 minutes, it gets extremely hot. And so I previously had it under here, and I was using it to extract dust from the lathe when I'm sanding, and also these 2 machines. Trouble is, when you're sanding on the lathe, you're doing it for hours on end. And so I had this, I mean, for lack of a better word, frying pan down here that was actually, it was too hot to touch the top of it. So what I did instead is I relegated it over here, where it's just a simple, like, turn it off and on when the miter saw is being used, and that's it. Which then meant that I didn't have an extractor to go under here. So I went and got the Bosch one under there because it fits really nicely and it's got good suction and the airflow, it gets enough airflow that it doesn't overheat, which meant I didn't then have one out here anywhere. So Festool do this thing. This is a CTM 26. It's an M-class extractor. It's got all the like beepers and annoying things that you turn off on it. But it's got this. So it's really good for just like cleaning around the workshop. Like it's still corded, of course. It's just like under Ivan's feet there, but it's really good for just quickly turning off and on and like quickly picking up an area without having to go back to the extractor. And yeah, just thought I'd try it out. I've got a few Festool things. Like I've got a domino under here, so I link that to the top occasionally. It's just nice to have. So yeah, that's why I've got the Festool one. I got that as a result of this being crap, and it's just sort of had a knock-on effect all the way through. So that's now the 5th extractor I've got in here, technically. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Many. So yeah, well noticed. And I didn't do it upside down. Sweet. Yes, I will do a new workshop tour. I need to do that.
So I'm just in the fettling stage, getting it tidy.
Just check the... Guys, bear with me. I'm just going to check the battery on my phone. It might knock this out, in which case I will go upstairs and reset it. 1 minute. Oh, actually, I've got a charger here.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah. Question for you, Ivan. How many workshops are you visiting?
I think around 12 or 13. I can have a look at my itinerary now. Yeah, 13 people. One of those people or organisations is the Wood Lab, which is a cooperative woodworking sort of school in, I believe, Cornwall or Devon. And then I'm going to a craft festival, so you can kind of discount the craft festival from that list. But
It's a stop.
yeah, it's a stop, and it's going to be great fun. There'll be loads of furniture makers and stuff over there. And then Rycotewood School of Furniture, where me and Matt studied. That's going to be fun. The Silver Foundation, I think Matt's old workshop was there. So yeah, and I've not been there in a while, so
yeah, that's going to have changed a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I'd recognise it if I went back there.
Really?
Yeah, the amount of outbuildings they seem to have now.
Wow. It's going to be interesting because visiting different organisations as well as furniture makers or workshops exposes you to more furniture makers. It's not like I'm going to individuals, I'm going to a few organisations, so I'll see much more than just the 13 that are on the list. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got any like recommendations or people that I could get in touch with, I mean, my list is pretty, like my journey's pretty fully stocked right now, but I'm going to be doing this again in the future if all goes well.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing the West Coast at the moment, sort of.
Yeah.
You could always go across the Norfolk area and
Oh yeah.
do that. It'd be really cool.
Scotland. I want to do Scotland one day.
Mate, cycling up there.
Yeah.
That's one of the first places I want to take the plan. Up to the Highlands.
Really?
Love to do that. Yeah.
Do the Cairngorms.
Yeah.
Have you got a little ruler by any chance?
The ruler, yeah, it's my. Does it need to be clean?
How straight is it?
No guarantees on that. I think I do have one somewhere, an actual clean one.
This is going surprisingly well, this.
Oh yeah?
So far.
It's my lovely sharp chisels, isn't it? That you sharpened. Because they were shite. Literally when Ivan came here from this, like having gone to this Japanese woodworking course, I'm so self-conscious about every edge in my workshop. I'm glad we've sharpened this one to 85 degrees because it's not sharp and it's as a result of Ivan.
You should see the chisels in my workshop. It's like, yeah, I like to keep them in prime condition.
Right. It's a good job you were only here for 2 days. We saw some of the practices that I kept doing.
What was that video of you throwing
Throwing it around, yeah. Yeah. I'm not one for like, I don't do stupid things like, I say I don't do stupid things, obviously I'll throw it around, but I don't do things like open pots and stuff with them because you've got little 6-inch rulers to do that, evidently. Yeah. But like, yeah, it just tends to be videos and stuff where they just get extremely damaged because I know that destroying edges just really annoys people.
I was going to ask, like, to what extent do you think you're, you know, like, how much are you an entertainer over being a woodworker?
Do you know what I think about that? It's weird because there is like a spectrum on YouTube where you've got like entertainment one side and education the other, and you can obviously be one or like you can be one of them or the other one or somewhere in between. And yeah. I really don't know. Like I had to separate my channels actually. Where I used to have like all tutorials and like big long series and stuff on this main channel. Yeah. On my main one, but it got to a point where there was people who would like the sort of entertainment style videos, like the River Table one and the Amazon Basics Plain and all that sort of thing.
Oh, that was great.
Like, yeah, people liked those ones. But then as soon as I started doing tutorials where I had to put on this like serious persona kind of thing, like you just lose people on it. Yeah. And so I've basically had to separate it now where my main channel is primarily an entertainment one. Now I'm still putting tutorials on it, but I'm doing them in a much more relaxed way. Yeah. Like less serious, more akin to myself, I think. Yeah. Whereas before, when I put tutorials on this other channel, I'd try and be really formal about it and like very serious and try and like tend it to someone who wanted that kind of thing, but it's just difficult to maintain. Yeah. So like really I'm in both and I've separated it. But the entertainment ones are so much funner to film and create. Yeah. Like it's so much better.
It's fun for you as well, like.
Yeah, there's less stakes on it, and like the interesting thing about the entertainment videos though, like with the River Table and the Amazon Basics one and the Dovetail speed record and everything like that.
That was great.
That was so fun, that one.
Have you got the example? I've not seen it.
It's upstairs.
Oh
wait, no, it's here. That gap wasn't there before. 2 minutes 54.
What?
I don't remember that. I think it's from disassembling it loads. But yeah, it's good though because I've got the first ever one I cut here as well.
The first ever one you ever cut?
Yeah.
It's like if the Flintstones cut a dovetail, that's what it would look like.
Yeah. It's funny because that one probably took me 2 hours 54. It took me 2 minutes.
Madness.
Yeah, I remember I cut this in my dad's garage, and I filed these baselines flat because I didn't have a sharp enough chisel or something. This was in the summer before Rychertwood. Yeah. I was like, right, I'm going to get a head start on the other students. So I put this together and like, I think I'll wait till I get taught. So I think I had my Veritas dovetail saw. I bought that before the course.
Right.
So yeah, I think these have been cut with the Veritas saw, but then I just chiseled them. It's absolutely mangled.
You've got a bench hook here, haven't you?
Yeah. Fits well though.
Have we had any questions come through? If anybody wants to ask any questions about when me and Matt were studying together, if there's any like things you want to know about that experience,
woodworking in general, crack on. Is there others? Yeah, I'll have to wait on a delay. Obviously,
It's all good.
I did have a setup once where it was only a 7-second delay, but I think we're on about a minute at the moment.
Right, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was the biggest troublemaker?
Who's the biggest troublemaker?
You. Definitely. You're just in the corner of the workshop with Joe and Carl.
Yeah. That was. And I was always turning up late and just hungover.
Hungover, yeah. I just remember it was Ivan. There was a guy called Joe and a guy called Carl, who's basically Louis Theroux.
Yeah, Louis Theroux.
Basically Louis Theroux, but in a sort of younger body kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
My how the dovetails have come.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
So those three on the bench, it's just so funny to look over and
Just
Joe's there with his leg on the bench, shaving all the hair off because he's just sharpened a plane blade really well.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, look at this.
Look
and
at
he's
this
just
shaving.
balls on one leg afterwards.
And he was a hairy guy.
He was a really hairy guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. For a, what, 18-year-old?
18 or something. Yeah. There was that. And then, do you remember the pictures he used to draw as well of Carl? I think I found one of them when I went back to teach, yeah. I found one of the old...
on one of the benches, or...?
No, on one of the toolboxes.
Right.
He used to draw these really weird caricature style drawings, didn't he, of Carl.
Yeah.
It's like over exaggerated features, like big chins and noses and stuff. He used to do that and just draw it all over the workshop, on his toolboxes, on the bench.
Yeah.
Like graffiti almost.
And then, of course, there's the phallics that we used to draw.
Phallics, yeah, all that.
Classic boys in school.
Yeah, drawing dicks on everything.
I'm wondering if you've got a plane for the cheeks of that
Yep.
that I can use.
Is it sharp?
Is it sharp?
Yeah, so it's mainly things like that.
Amazing. You've also got a router plane there as well.
Router plane, yeah. That one's probably a bit... It might get through crossbreed. Yeah. Oh. You ever use one of these? Widening grooves.
For wide? Oh, cool.
Because obviously if you cut a groove to 4mm wide and you want it to be 5...
So
How do
you use it like that?
Yeah. There's literally no... Unless you want to go along and try and chisel it all the way along one of the walls.
So could you use this to do the shoulders of a
I think you could.
tenon?
It might be quite tricky going across end grains. There's not a lot of
Ah.
mass on it. But yeah, in theory, if it was a soft enough wood.
That's cool.
So it's like,
And
you
it
know, you
does
can get away with not having a
tenons?
shoulder plane and a router plane and stuff, but that's something that
You really
there's
highly
no other
recommend
job
that.
for it. There's no other tool
Wow.
that does that. So it's really good, isn't
And
it?
it's got a...
Left and right hand, yeah.
That's brilliant.
I haven't used it yet. I just got it just in case, because I'm sure I'll need it one day. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Matt's got quite a impressive selection of brands, I think, here. My tools are much more crude, but then I've still got shitloads of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I'm flashy.
Do you think? I wonder if people want to see what I'm up to.
Yeah, let's do that actually. Just got my record dovetail in the middle of the shop. So what I'll do is, okay, right. John's asked, "What's your favourite tool and why?"
Both of us?
Yeah, you go first.
Oh God, I might need some time to think about that. God, I have no idea. I think I could easily say the genre of tool that I prefer is measuring and marking out equipment.
Yeah.
Just because of there's something really satisfying about once you've set everything up, it's done then, and you don't have to think. You can, if you're doing multiple dovetails or marking out something in multiples, you just don't have to think, and they're just infinitely useful. You're always reaching for a square or something along that category.
Yeah. I think mine is either my Lee Nielsen number 4, that one.
Oh yeah,
The bronze boy. That one.
that is beautiful.
Or the Bad Axe Dovetail.
Ah, the Bad Axe.
Yeah.
So I think now you've mentioned that the Lee Nielsen block plane, the brass bodied, is it the 104?
Oh yeah, the 102.
102.
I think that is.
That is a beautiful tool.
Yeah, I remember you always had that. That's like a permanent extension of your hand.
Yeah, it's just always on your
Always.
person. Yeah.
That was really good. I would say, yeah, in Rychertwood, I could see that was your favourite
Yeah.
all the time.
And it's got a really good steel as well.
Yeah. Give us a close up. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'll show you. Oh,
Is it upside down again?
oh, it is. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, that plane. Hang on, someone just starts to see it.
Yeah.
So, this is the plane. It's the Veritas Side Rabbit plane, because it's American Rabbit, or Canadian, I should say. They got really annoyed at me when I said I'm in America when I was actually in Canada, which is understandable, but also it's very funny. So yeah, it's this. It's got a left and a right-handed blade on it, and let's say like this was a really thin groove that I wanted to widen. Effectively what you do is you put the blades on its side there, so you put it into a groove like that. You've got to stop on the front, just spin it around like that, and then as you plane, it's planing it off the inside wall like here. So sort of doing that, and then obviously if you need to do the other one, you can go that way and flip it round and work with the grain. Like, it's a very cool tool. There's literally nothing else that will do that. Like, you can't fit a plane in there to plane that surface. You could try and like chisel down it or whatever, but that's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, Veritas Side Rabbit plane. Pretty cool.
So is it a rabbit or a rebate?
Rebate, I reckon. Rebate. Interestingly, I thought a groove and a dado was a similar thing, where it's one's American, one's British.
Yeah.
A groove goes with the grain, a dado goes across the grain. Yeah. I didn't know that.
God damn.
Yeah. Whereas I guess a rabbit or a rebate.
A rabbit is a animal.
Yeah.
And a rebate is...
Ah, yes. Okay. Let's see.
So we're almost there. I'm not gonna fettle the shoulders because
That's
it's just, I guess it's not very worth it.
What was each of your favourite projects in school, and what is something you wish you had worked on more?
Oh God.
I mean, we said about working on chairs more.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight away, my favourite project was a steam bending project I did.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
The coat hanger.
Yeah, it was
That's
nuts.
on your Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 pictures on my Instagram of it.
It's like this mad, curly, swirly thing. In fact, actually, I think I've put Ivan's Instagram in the description. Yes, I have.
Nice.
Put both his Instagrams in there. So take a look at that. It's really cool. This coat hanger thingy.
It's quite far down.
So it's that. I reckon my favourite one was probably the workbench, I think.
Bertha.
Yeah. Making something for me rather than
Yeah.
someone else. It's always better. There's another one here. Hang on. There we go. At Rycotewood, how much flexibility were you given for deciding which projects to build? Was it a mix of required versus do whatever you want, depending on the class?
Good question. In college, it was very much led by the tutors, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah, when we were doing level 1, 2, and 3, so that's city and guilds level, college level, well, actually, interestingly, so when we joined, when we were doing level 1 and 2, do you remember level 3 students were able to design their own projects?
I do remember that.
Yeah. So originally, when you were in your second year at Rychertwood, I'm upside down again. I know I am. When you're in your second year at Rychertwood, they let you design your own thing, but it turned out that it was such a nightmare with students who actually didn't know much about. All they'd built so far was a little box and a cabinet, so 2 variations of the box. We're all of a sudden designing huge cabinets and like chairs and things like that. So they ended up. Oh, it was the right way up. Damn it!
No, it's not.
Nightmare, this thing.
Wait.
It's like, yeah, so it's the right way up now, but then when I flip it on that one, I think it's going to make it upside down. I don't know. But yeah, so when Ivon and myself went into the second year of Rychowood at level 3, it fixed it. So now if I put it upside down now, we'll see. When we went into the second year, they had projects preset for us to do. But what they allowed you to do was sort of change the design of certain parts of those projects. So I've actually got my level 2 cabinet down there.
Yeah. Veneer, so like marquetry, we could do our own, playing with veneer, and I think like handles and small things like that.
Yeah. Handles.
Limited amount, I guess, but
yeah, it's sort of like you could change the theme of the piece, I guess, because like also on that cabinet we were allowed to choose whether we wanted a round over profile or a chamfer and things, so we could do that. But once you get past those initial 2 years, which are optional, you can just go straight to the degree if you want.
if you have the qualifications.
If you have the qualifications and you're 18 years old, of course. Once you get to the degree, there's a few set projects in that. Like one's teaching you how to use machines and like teach processes in various ways. But for the most part, it's designing your own projects, sort of getting other students to help you with that, and also collaborating with teachers and all that.
They often give you a brief to sort of.
They give you a brief as well.
Guide you through the way, which can be a bit of a hit and miss. Sometimes briefs are really fun, and you like sort of doing it, but sometimes it's. There was a couple of briefs that I didn't feel inspired by. No. But that's subjective, I think.
Yeah, there's sometimes briefs work in a way where they give you like nice guidelines and it sort of steers you on a path to something really good. It's like they're like sort of railings either side, and it stops you going too far off track. Other times they are just like they're so
narrow.
Well, maybe they're not, but you just sort of perceive it as that, and so you don't allow yourself to sort of explore anything. You just like, I don't know, tick a box or whatever on it.
Yeah.
You just do it and then move on, and you usually get a pretty bad grade for it. So there's briefs all throughout Rychowood, unless you try and sort of fit in your own projects outside of that, which you rarely have time for.
Some people did, which I thought was really impressive, that people were able to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty mental.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the quality of work that comes from the alumni, the sort of end of year shows, you can see the variation in what people have been doing at Rycotewood, even with the briefs and any constraints that might be there. If anyone was interested in going to Rycotewood to study, I'd highly recommend going to the end of year shows.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was really good. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're working with briefs throughout, and sometimes you gel with them, sometimes you don't. But then if you choose to do the 5th and final year, where you do your dissertation, you basically write the brief for yourself.
Yes.
That was when you did steam bending, wasn't it?
That was when I did the bamboo.
Bamboo, that
bamboo
was it.
chair.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. You still got that as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's too big to put anywhere.
Yeah, it was huge. So yeah, Ivon's thing was around the use of bamboo, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
As a sustainable material, or just a
absolutely,
material?
Because it grows super fast and is ridiculously strong. Its tensile strength is ridiculous. We might get away with this. I'm scared that if we don't fettle it to a certain degree, because the walls are so thin,
You're gonna snap them.
Yeah, So I'm just gonna go a little bit more.
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, Ivan's thing was on bamboo. Friend Andy did it on CNC. Did a lot of work around that. So he had these really cool, like ripple door panels that he designed on a CAD program, and then got them all CNC'd out. I think he had some problems with wood movement in the end because they were solid wood, and they started distorting in weird ways. But that mine was on like social media in the furniture industry, which I'm annoyed because I've lost my dissertation.
No.
I don't know where it is. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure there's probably a copy of it somewhere, but
Like
I'd
a
love
hard
to-
copy.
Yeah, I'd love to look back
Yeah.
on it and see how naive I was. Because the good thing about doing it on social media was it was so
It was sort of
like they had nothing to kind of benchmark it against. I
Right.
think so. I could sort of almost shit talk my way into a good grade for it. In a sense, anyway. So I did that. I can't remember what other people's were. There's a few people did knockdown things. I think Av did a knockdown.
Av did, yeah.
That was really cool.
Lot
So there
of,
was a
lot of sustainability minded
Yeah.
work coming out. You know, people being quite conscious of material usage and the impacts that we have on the environment
Yeah.
with our work.
But that was a cool time because you're in the same workshop as the previous 3 years. Like everyone in the degree, whether you're in the first, second, or third year, you're all in one workshop. It's like 50 benches or so in there. And so when you're going through the first year, you're sort of doing a table project, aren't you, as well as a few other units. And so you look at the benches around you, and everyone's got a table on it in various forms, but it's all a table.
Yeah.
Then you do the second year, you've got a chair and you've got a storage piece. So again, you sort of look around and whatever. And then you go to the third year, and it's just all different. Like everyone's doing mad things. Like
Yeah.
some are doing chairs, some are doing cabinets, some are doing tables. There's different materials like bamboo. Do you remember? Actually, no, she didn't do it in the degree, but there was Maggie who did
Sorry.
it. That's all right. She did ceramics.
Oh,
For-
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she was an Italian woman, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Like,
She
yeah.
was Argentinian, I think.
Oh, was it Argentinian?
Yeah.
I thought it was Italian.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
um,
Definitely had. Maybe she lived in Italy for a bit.
maybe. I'm not sure,
Maybe
but
she did something there.
she, yeah, I mean, that is one thing. Like, Rycotewood describes itself as a furniture course, but technically, furniture is anything in the house, I think.
Yeah,
Like, the
it is.
definition of furniture, like,
Yeah.
how do you define that? And
Well, I mean, I made this. Like, it's not. It's
Yeah.
a table of some kind.
so it's much more a woodworking course than a furniture course, but yeah.
I think one of my favourite things to come of it. Do you remember? I think it's for a batch production project. Nick made those little like were they birds or penguins or something like that. They were like the cutest things, just like at a beach or something. Turned.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so minimal, so good. Yeah, I did like the batch production projects.
They were great fun,
They
yeah.
were really fun.
That's why I tried to make the chairs, because of batch production. It was already the right side up.
Yeah, that's right. It's okay now. Someone's asking, how does working with bamboo compare with oak or similar hardwoods?
Bamboo's interesting because it's got, as it grows, it produces a leaf either side, alternating, or a branch with leaves on. So, and then you cleave the bamboo that I received from the merchant. Was sort of it had been cleaved into sort of fours, so quarter sawn, if you like. And wherever there was a node, wherever a branch, a leaf had come out, it made like a ring around the bamboo stem. So at every interval, the grain would go in both directions.
Oh, right.
So using tools with edges is just a big no-no. I actually ended up putting them through the power sander a lot, because that's the only thing that would give me a nice finish. But it's a weird material, because it is, like you say, it's sort of similar to oak. It's very dense. If you're going with the grain and you're planing it, that's fine, but or using a tool, and it's fine. But the exterior, the skin has got a sort of silica deposit on, so it's actually like cutting into a sort of a metal, like a metal element, and it can actually be quite hard on tools. So it's a very interesting thing, but what it did respond well to was heat and steam bending. I don't think anyone had much, not from my research anyway, not many people had steam bent bamboo, but they'd used heat to bend bamboo. So I tried to steam bend it and it worked amazingly, and it's incredibly strong, really quite nice to use. I'd be interested to see if it's possible to actually make solid wood stuff out of it. Usually people just make composite boards,
Yeah.
glue up stuff, and that's mostly just machinery work. And
Yeah, as you see, like kitchen countertops, don't they? You've got
Yeah.
recycled bamboo from that lot.
yeah,
It's quite an interesting material.
Yeah,
It's and the end grain, the porousness of it.
yeah,
It's, but I guess you just don't get big enough sections of it to make. I don't know. You've obviously got to join a lot of pieces together to get an entire board of it.
yeah. Because even though it grows fast, it's not you don't get a lot of material out of one
Yeah.
yield.
Yeah. Was there a lot of mixing materials? I'm trying to think of what. So yeah, Maggie had the ceramics, which was really interesting.
There was someone did plastic in the year below us.
Oh yeah. I think what else there was. There definitely was a lot of mixing materials.
I think
But
a fair amount.
Tim did a powder coated metal frame.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, actually, to be fair, everything Tim did was pretty mental. Like he had that whole that chair with the rolled steel, didn't he? Like, it's huge. It was amazing.
The mixing of materials though really had to come out of your own extracurricular work, I think.
Yes, yeah, and obviously because the workshop itself was only geared for woodworking tools for the most part. There was a jewellery making workshop in other parts of the college. That's where in the first series of my channel where I'm building the cabinet, Cognition as I called it, the curved cabinet, the copper panels on the door of that were made in the jewellery department. So you did some bits in there.
Yeah, I did
lots
some
of
bits.
stuff in there.
I got to use the science department at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did a copper fronted cabinet.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And I got the copper to rust essentially, putting a patina on there,
Yeah.
and needed like some pretty harsh chemicals. And they let me use an entire science lab for a day. It was great.
Because it was black as well, wasn't it? Did you
Yeah.
organise them?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I love that. It was a drinks cabinet, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. That to me is like something that's ongoing. I'm going to redesign that and develop
I
it.
think
throughout the
it was
years.
really nice. There was actually one. Was it last year when I went back to the show? It was either last year or 2 years ago. And someone had designed a cabinet that reminded me so much of that.
Right. Okay.
It was all black, and it had some sort of, I think it was copper, but they hadn't patinaed it or anything. But it was like these sort of circles kind of like polished copper on it as well. So it was very, it was really nice. Nicely executed, but it reminded me a lot of what you did.
Yeah. Cool. Did you see the version that I did after university?
I think so, no.
It's my favourite thing.
Yeah.
Someone bought it. I'm so angry. I want that.
Damn it, paid good money for it.
Yeah.
Someone bought it. Bastards. It's always tricky doing like this while presenting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what to focus on.
I know.
You get no better at it, I guarantee you.
Okay. I'm happy with where we're at, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm just going to go a tad more on one corner.
Mm-hmm. So you do make it so it fits.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhat tight. You can't. I mean, for the case of this example, the walls are only 8mm or 6mm thick. 6. So I am afraid that it will just blow if I do this, like compress the fibres once it's in and it expands. But the examples where this is used, the Kirigashi method, are on timber framing. So the cross section are about 150mm thick, at least. So there's no fear that the timber's not going to be able to hack it. So yeah, this is just an example where I'm just going to go a bit more finesse and careful. But when using softwood, you can just go for it. It's a lot more forgiving for this.
Yeah. So yeah, Jamie, what we're doing here is demonstrating a mortise and tenon joint that effectively is too tight initially. So what you do is you hammer the tenon to squish it a bit, put it into the mortise, and then when moisture is introduced, it expands to lock itself in place. Technically, you can do it without glue if you wanted. I guess if you put glue in it, the water and the glue is going to lock it in place.
Yeah,
the water in the glue, that is.
There's nothing wrong with using glue. It might help.
It's nicely cut in there.
Thanks.
Look at that. See, these were a minor mistake, these bits, but the actual wall's in there. Very nicely done. Where do you want to be as a woodworker in the next few years?
Can I go for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd personally like to be. I want to do a bit of teaching. I think I've been doing a bit of teaching recently and been getting a lot from it. Personally.
Oh mate, that's good.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's good.
Funny. So yeah, teaching's quite exciting, I think. But then also, my initial dream has always been to be an exhibiting furniture maker. Someone who comes up with a concept, and then the entire exhibition is centered around that concept. Every piece of furniture is linked into that thing. That would be cool, but just very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
Should we prop this up somewhere?
Yeah. So what do you wanna? You're gonna assemble it, are you?
I'm gonna assemble it. It's I've not checked it for accuracy or anything, but it could well be there.
Eric said, "Nice mortise."
Nice. And as well, yeah, I'm going to carry on doing the Crafty Peddler. That's going to be super exciting. Right, so.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's already blowing the sides out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit of wobble on there.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Should we do it anyway?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So what are you going to hammer it with then?
You've not got a vice, have you?
I've got a engineer's vice there.
Yeah.
Or do you...
Or like an anvil. I've got a small anvil.
There is an anvil on the back of that vice.
Sweet. That's brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get all the metal off it first. And this can get up and out the way as well.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've got an 85-degree chisel for that if you want. I'll just get the phone stand. 1 minute, guys. Yep.
And do you have a bottle of, like a spray bottle of water?
Yes, I'm sure I do somewhere. I think it's got cutting fluid in it at the moment, but...
So normally I use my Geno hammer, which is like a very flat, square-faced hammer.
Right. I've got that lump hammer. I actually picked up a one of these ones.
All right.
Reckon that'll do it, or
Yeah.
and it's got a ball peen end on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that might work. It's
there
quite
is
flat.
a claw hammer there. Otherwise,
Cool.
I think that's all the hammers I've got. I'm not well hammered up. I probably should have checked that before you.
Just gonna. I've just got one thing. What we
Uh-huh. That's right. So, John here has asked, did you cycle all the way to the south of France on the old bike? Hats off to you if you did. How was the journey?
I cycled from Oxford to Paris in 4 days. 4 days of cycling. It took me 5 days because I had a day of. I got lost on one of the days. I'll be honest.
In England or France?
In Dieppe, in France. And the reason that I had to go down to Marseille was actually because the bike broke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And I just jumped on the train with it and fixed it when I was at Takami's.
Right.
workshop.
Oh, I remember you. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing that. It was so cool watching it on Instagram. Just being like, Ivan's in Oxford. Ivan's at Dover. Ivan's in Paris. And then, like, in the south of France, making. Because you didn't. I don't know if you said before that you were going, but to me, if you did, I missed it all. So all of a
Right.
sudden, you were just like cycling. It's like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Just like going somewhere, and then
Yeah.
you turn up, you were like cutting Japanese joints with a woodworking master. It's like, what's just happened?
What is happening? Yeah. Cool. I think that's ready.
Cool.
Ready as it ever could be.
Nice.
And you know, it was a fixed gear bike as well, which
Oh, right.
yeah, this one's fixed gear too.
Actually, yeah, I would like to. Yeah,
You should
let's
have a go.
Yeah, see what while you're doing that, I want to show people it as well.
This is not very. Can this swivel?
I think it can, you know. Yeah.
It's not going to with however tight they are.
Oh, Lord.
Right, this is quite a light hammer, but. I hope this isn't too loud for the viewers.
They got volume.
Yeah.
Cool texture.
Yeah, it's
Picking up the
great.
light nicely on the camera.
Is it? Right, so doing the inside corner is a bit of a difficult one, but
Is there a way you could do it with like a sort of nail punch style thing? If we got a bit of metal for you to go along.
If there was, because I could use a rubber mallet and
Yeah, I've actually got some.
just a chunk of metal.
I've got some of these.
Oh, brilliant! That would be fantastic.
Titanium, so don't miss hitting, because it will spark.
Okay, so
If you, I mean, I can hold it if you want, or I can hold a bit of wood.
that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice one. Flat against that.
Fire! Do you want a bigger hammer? Just there is the claw one there.
Bro. That's better. I'm going to flip it, have another go on that side, and
Yep.
then we'll be ready to go.
What about the edges? Do you do that?
It's actually cut quite well on the edges, I
Okay.
think. Depending on the fit, I might have to do it, but I figured I'll just give it a miss this time. Usually you would, yeah. And then I'll just go out. I'm going to do the edges just briefly.
Yep. Someone saying, yeah, don't worry about the sides blowing up. We're used to seeing it. Basically, I used to do these weekly. I used to do a live stream when cutting a joint, and at the end, I would always like just smash it apart, really annoy people. Do you reckon you're done over here? I'll move the camera.
I think it's ready.
Sweet. Oop.
If the hammer's still handy though, because usually we Kirigashi the face as well.
Oh, okay.
And then
Interesting.
yeah.
Right, I'm going to set up a bad view for you guys, and then I'll fix it. Get that raised up on something. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. So obviously the point in this is to put water on it to expand the joint.
Yeah.
Someone here said you can use water to help soften the wood.
Ah.
What's that going to do? Because you're like swelling it and also hammering it at the same time.
Yeah, because we would use water in conjunction when with the hand plane.
Right.
So when planing, water would aid with that.
Right.
And it would give a sort of smoother
Yeah.
action.
I had to do it with that Japanese picnic bench.
Oh yeah.
Because it was crushing so much, I had to put methylated spirit on the end grain to soften it. I was just like dousing it to pair across, and it works incredibly.
Wow.
It's so good at softening material.
Yeah, we were doing it on the end grain.
Yeah.
And just like solid wood.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
Like
It's amazing.
nothing. Yeah. Right. Have you got a spray bottle?
Sorry, yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna have to quickly empty that one because it's got cutting fluid in it.
That's alright. What's cutting fluid?
Something for the metal lathe. I don't really know.
Oh right. Okay.
Probably put it on there.
So just for the viewers, I'm gonna do a bit more tapping because it's still quite tight, but Matt's getting everything prepared. Should I bring you with? I do hope this works.
It's on brand. If it doesn't, it's fine. I mean, you did choose beech, which is known for being a hard timber. So.
But it's alright, we've got a lump hammer. So.
That's true, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh! Nice.
Yeah, that was super satisfying.
That was great.
So actually...
Yeah, I hope you don't get any moisture on that.
In fact... Oh, God.
And there's a joint, guys. Do you want me to hold the other end of it? Or?
Oh, God. It's not going to come apart.
Get... Oh, mate. What if... Leverage?
I was just thinking, I was gonna hammer the face, that face. And because if there are any undulations on the shoulder, you can sort of get away with like the wood sort of filling the gaps.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A little bit of a cheat, but
No, we can get that out somehow.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I can get it in there. And then...
Well, I mean, usually you use a...
Oh, I guess, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, bloody hell.
You know it's good when it's a good fit all the way down. Right? It's not like an undercut tenon or anything like that where it's only tight for the final bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like... Nice.
There we go. Should be alright.
Oh, I see. Right. So it squishes this, so when that expands, it fills gaps as well.
Yeah, it goes
Right.
outwards.
Got ya. Okay.
But also it's squashed the fibres outward.
Right,
So
okay.
that's going to be tighter now.
Ah. Okay.
Ready?
I love that. That's that's nuts.
And then
So good.
And then yeah, we just...
So okay, you put water on the outside and then it...
I mean, I guess eventually it will make its way in.
Yeah.
So long as you use enough.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bit of cutting fluid in it, that's why it's foamy. But
Helps that I've made that massive gap.
yeah. Shadow gap. Intentional design feature.
And then eventually that's going to be... Yeah.
I mean, the fit of that in general, like that's one of the ones that you put glue on it to glue it up, and it's too big to fit in.
Yeah.
But it's so
So yeah, there we go.
nice, man. That is awesome. Yeah, we'll let that sit for a bit and then see
See if we can actually get
see
it
if we can
apart.
get it apart. Yeah. I mean, we struggled anyway.
I know.
It's, yeah.
It won't come apart.
No, I can see that it's not going to whatsoever. So would they normally put glue in that, or would that be like a
Not for timber framing,
not for timber frame?
because they actually, because the buildings are often made of softwood, they can degrade quite quickly, and I think every 100 years or so they will renovate them depending on how it's doing. So if there's glue, they can't take the joints apart. It's knocked down buildings.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're just, everything's wedged and slotted together, and they can take it apart, replace bits, put them back together. It's nuts. There was stories of people who moved home. They moved to another district of Japan and brought their home with them. Just disassemble it and
you need
bring
good
it.
assembly instructions about it. You wouldn't want IKEA handling that one. Cool. All right.
Rice glue for furniture, though.
Oh yeah.
Glue made of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I thought you were going to spray the joint itself and then assemble it, but I guess there's a time pressure to that, isn't
Yeah.
there? Like it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the water will just make its way in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I do wonder if it will blow.
Yeah. You think it's going to do it to that extent?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I guess like it's going to, when you add water to it, it's going to expand beyond what it was before you even hammered it.
Yeah.
So it's a tight fit. It's not like hammering it, it's bringing it up to that tight fit. It's obviously, it's bringing it beyond it. And it's going to be doing that to the walls of the mortise as well. Because you only hammered the tenon.
Oh shit.
So it's like double
I didn't
expansion.
think about that.
Yeah. So it's going to, you got double expansion going on in there. I mean, this ruler's not straight, so who knows? Nice. One day a friend of mine had something in the steam bender and expanded and got stuck in the steam bender. Funny.
In the former.
In the former, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Cool.
What I'll probably do, I reckon, let's leave that to sit for a bit.
Yeah.
And then on Instagram later, I'll put a story up of us trying to pull it apart or something.
Yeah, that sounds
See what we
good.
can do, rather than sit around and wait, watching water evaporate. But yeah,
I'm
Nice.
pretty chuffed with that as a
that's
joint
awesome.
as well,
Yeah, and it's immortalised on camera as well, so you can always, if you ever need a confidence boost.
Well, for that confidence boost, I'm just going to say I didn't do the shoulders on this, so
Yeah,
ignore the gaps.
Yeah. Sweet. All right.
Amazing.
Cool.
Thanks. This has been fun.
It's been very fun.
Yeah, I hope it's been fun for everyone at home.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, what else are you doing today? Watching the Queen or something like that? Yeah. Cool. All right.
Amazing.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I need to go upstairs and end the stream, but yeah, Ivan's going to be here for the rest of today and tomorrow morning as well. So if you've got any questions that just happen to spring mind in between then, send them to me or send them directly to him, and we'll answer them publicly or something like that. And
I guess if anyone's interested in my journey to Cornwall, where I'm visiting other makers and stuff, I'll probably be sharing their workspaces and chatting with them, writing about it, putting on blogs. Check me out on the Crafty Peddler. It's Crafty_Peddler.
should be up here on the screen somewhere, I think. Yes, there you go.
Nice. I'll try my best to post as much as possible, but I'll be cycling in between, so it's quite hard to post Instagram stories and post.
You managed it on the way here. I've only just seen the story of you cycling. Yeah. Ivan's good to follow. He's very unpredictable.
Nice.
Nice. All right, I'll go upstairs and end the stream.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Bye bye.